10 of the N-400 application, that is information about you and your marital history. And so in this general section, they're trying to get a better understanding of yourself, if you're married, who your spouse is, how you came to receive your benefit, meaning your green card, and is there anything else that you haven't said in other applications. And so there's been cases in this particular section where someone did not put that they were married in the foreign country, and then out of a sudden they add a spouse here, and that raises a red flag. So you want to be consistent throughout all of your USCIS applications, because if you're not consistent, something is gonna come up and something is gonna show up. Now, less so typically with a paper application, because if it's computerized, the computer flags these sort of things a lot of times. But on paper, it's it's not computerized, so there's more of a chance for something to pass through. Now, that's not to say that you should do anything illegal, but it just gives you a sense of what they're looking for in this particular section. So it asks you things like, is your spouse a member of the armed forces? The reason for that is because you might get a benefit in terms of when can you apply, and how long you need to wait before you become a U.S. citizen. And then other questions are, how many times have you been married before? And then noting how many times you've been married before, then they ask you questions about all of those marriages. In many ways, officers here are trying to figure out did you get a U.S. citizen benefit? Did you get an immigration benefit as a result of maybe a fake marriage or anything like that? And also, they just want to get more background information on you. And so, if you're married now, on item 4, please provide the information about your current spouse. And so you have the spouse's legal name, any previous names. Sometimes they change with marriage, or any other names used. Their date of birth, and then when you were married to that person. And then section 10 continued. Where do they live? And here they're looking to see, are you living together or not? If you're not living together and there's maybe a divorce pending or something like that, sometimes you might tell people that, well, maybe you don't have a good moral character, and maybe you entered into a marriage only for the purposes of getting an immigration benefit. Item 5 is, is your current spouse a U.S. citizen? Here again, they're going back to the determination of, are you getting a citizenship, in 3 years as a result of a U.S. citizen spouse, or the 5 years that's the typical. And so, if your current spouse is a U.S. citizen, then complete any of the following. How did they get citizenship? Or when they became a U.S. citizen, whether it was at birth or they received it via naturalization. Then item 7, if your spouse is not a citizen, then you just complete the following, meaning what's their nationality, if they have an A number, and what's their current status. It's not, if you're a U.S. citizen, or if you're becoming a U.S. citizen and your spouse is not, this is pretty straightforward. Just answer these questions and you'll be good. Item 8 is, how many times have your current spouse been married? Meaning, here's what they're looking for here. If it's a situation where someone has been married multiple times, then it could indicate to the government that, wait, are these people just getting married with non-citizens for the purpose of providing them an immigration benefit, a green card? And so that's in some sense the reason why they're asking that question. And then here, if the answer is yes, then they go deeper into any previous marriages that they've had, and so they want to kind of know everything that's going on. And if it raises a red flag, they can go back and check. Part 10 continued. current spouse's date of marriage, when you got married, or when it ended. This continues on item number 8, and then how your current spouse's prior marriage ended. Okay, they want to know here. Meaning, and typically if it's a divorce, then they might scrutinize it a little more. Depending, it's a totality of circumstances, so they look at everything else in addition to it. And then item 9, if you're married before, provide the following information about your prior spouse. And so here, if you're married before but divorced, you can enter your you can enter your spouse's additional information. And again, here that they check to see what happened with that relationship, and ultimately, are you a person of good moral character? The requirement is that you are a person of good moral character under the statutory period, which in this case is 5 years, or at least the time that you've been married and living with someone. And so they want to make sure that you did not enter into some kind of an arranged marriage for the purpose of getting a green card. And so you just answer the additional questions: citizenship and nationality of the spouse, date of the marriage to the prior spouse, date the marriage ended, and then how it ended. Okay, again, the main reason for this section is to get a better sense of you as an applicant, and to check and see, is there anything funny about your background and things you've done, and maybe how you received immigration benefits.